I want to try something a little different to start us off today.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a visualization I've been sitting with, and honestly, it's a little confronting.
okay.
So if you can, just close your eyes for a second. I want you to imagine you've been walking through a dark, dense forest for like years,
Right.
and it's not a hike, it's a struggle. You're tripping over roots, branches are snagging your clothes,
Yeah.
you are fighting for every single step. And then, suddenly, you break through.
The trees part, the resistance stuff.
Exactly, the trees part. And right in front of you is this vast meadow. It is just drenched in golden light. The path is completely open. The struggle is over. But here is the kicker, and this is the part that really messed with my head. Instead of running forward into that light, instead of feeling relief, you freeze.
Your chest tightens. You can't breathe.
You feel terror, pure, unadulterated terror. And that is the central paradox I want to unpack with you today. It's that weird sense of vertigo when things actually go right. Why does the open door feel scarier than the locked one? Why does success feel more terrifying than failure?
It's a profound question, isn't it? We spend so much of our lives bracing for impact.
Totally. We prepare for rejection, for the empty bank account, for the breakup.
We have a script for failure, but we rarely talk about that dread that rises when the door finally opens, when the promotion lands, or the relationship gets serious, or the creative breakthrough happens.
It's like we have a detailed map for the dark forest, but we have absolutely no idea how to exist in the meadow. And I'll be honest, my first instinct was to reject it. I thought, no, I want the meadow. I've been working for the meadow.
Of course.
But then I looked at my own life. I looked at the times I actually got what I wanted, and I realized I panic. I self-destruct.
That panic is real, and we're going to look at this through the lens of Buddhist psychology today because it offers a very different explanation than your standard career coaching. It suggests the terror isn't a glitch,
It's not.
it's a signal.
A signal of what? Because logically, my brain interprets that signal as danger. Stop. You're going the wrong way.
It's a signal that the fear isn't actually of the success itself. It's a fear of the self you must become to hold that success.
Okay, that sounds poetic, but let's get concrete. The self I must become. Why is that so scary? If I become a successful person, isn't that a good thing?
Well, let's talk about the ego. In our culture, when we hear ego, we usually think of the bad guy, arrogance, selfishness.
Right, someone with a big ego.
But in this context, the ego is simply a guardian. It's a loyal guardian shaped by survival.
So it's trying to protect us, even when it's making us miserable.
Especially then. Think about it. From childhood, the ego builds an identity based on what is known. It constructs a character to navigate the world. Maybe that character is the struggling student or the reliable helper.
Oh, I definitely relate to the reliable helper. You get a lot of validation for that one. It feels safe.
Exactly. And that becomes who you are. It's comfortable, even if it's exhausting. These roles aren't lies, they are strategies. They helped you navigate pain, get love, or avoid abandonment when you were younger.
Okay.
But the problem arises when success arrives. Because success doesn't just change your external circumstances, your job title, or your bank balance.
It changes the script.
It dismantles the scaffolding of that old self. If
Yeah.
your entire identity is built around being the underdog and then suddenly you win, who are you?
That actually makes my stomach turn a little bit. If I define myself by the struggle, the end of the struggle feels like a death.
Exactly. It threatens the continuity of your narrative. And the ego loves continuity. It loves predictability more than it loves happiness.
That is such a depressing thought. The ego prefers a familiar hell to an unfamiliar heaven.
In a way, yes. In the Tibetan tradition, there is a specific term for this dynamic. Neon monks.
Neon monks, I haven't heard that before.
It's often translated as afflictive emotions,
Yeah.
but a much better translation for our context is confused energies.
Confused energies. I like that.
When that fear spikes in the meadow, it's not saying, run away, this is dangerous. It's a messenger saying, something inside you is clinging to a story.
Clinging to the story of the struggle.
Yes. Clinging to a version of safety built on limitation. Because being small is safe, being unseen is safe. If you step into the light, you are seen. And to be seen is to be known.
And to be known. Well, that requires a level of authenticity that feels incredibly vulnerable.
It reminds me of that analogy of the river and the boulder. I've always thought of my fear as this massive boulder blocking my path.
That's how we usually see it. We think, I have to smash this boulder before I can move forward.
Right, I need to fix myself. I need to get rid of this anxiety. And when I can't, I stop. I treat the fear as a stop sign.
But imagine a river flowing. When it encounters a boulder, does it stop? Does it argue with the boulder?
No, it just flows around it.
Precisely. The boulder, your fear is real. It matters. It's heavy. But it doesn't have to stop the water. The river just uses the boulder to shape its flow.
So you don't wait for the fear to vanish, you flow with it.
So the fear is just the friction of transformation.
It's the sound of old skins shedding. It's noisy and it's uncomfortable, but it is not a stop sign.
I want to dig into how we trap ourselves in these old identities. There's a story I came across about a craftsman in a bird cage. It felt like a parable, but it really landed for me.
The Zen story, it's a classic for a reason.
So, for anyone who hasn't heard it, imagine a master craftsman. He spends years building this exquisite, intricate cage. Rare wood, mother of pearl, silk lining. It's a masterpiece. He fills it with beautiful songbirds, and everyone admires it. But a monk comes along and says, "You've built a prison not for the birds, but for yourself."
Not for the birds, but for yourself.
Because he became the keeper. And that hit me so hard, I feel like I'm the keeper of my own limitations.
Because the ego whispers to us, if you leave this cage, this limited identity, who will you be? Who will love you? Who will remember you?
It's the fear of irrelevance.
Yes, if you stop being the reliable helper who fixes everyone else's problems, will anyone still call you?
Right. If I'm not the one taking care of everyone or the one fighting the good fight, do I still matter?
And that is precisely why we self-sabotage.
So self-sabotage.
My old friend.
I want to talk about this because usually I just think I'm lazy or broken. I get right to the finish line and I trip myself.
We judge ourselves so harshly for it. You cancel the meeting right before the big break. You delete the draft.
You ghost someone just as the relationship gets real.
Yes, we call it weakness. But looking at it through this lens, it's not weakness. It's the ego's emergency protocol.
Emergency protocol, like a system shutdown.
Exactly. The ego is thinking, preserve the known self at all costs. It perceives the success as a threat to your survival because it threatens your identity. It's trying to save you from what it believes is danger, exposure, judgment, the unknown.
It is wild to think that my brain interprets getting what I want is mortal danger. But why is that instinct so strong? Why is it so hard to override?
It comes back to a concept called sankhara.
Okay.
It refers to mental formations or conditioning. Think of it like grooves in a record or muscle memory.
Okay.
If you've walked the same path in the forest for 20 years, your muscles know exactly how to step over those roots.
I can do it with my eyes closed.
Exactly. The ego thrives on these deep, repetitive patterns. Success disrupts the pattern. It demands fluidity. It asks you to be someone who can hold abundance without arrogance or visibility without vanity. And if you've never done that before, the ego says,
No thanks. I don't have a map for that. Let's go back to the forest.
let's go back to the roots and the branches. I know how to trip over those.
I know how to be disappointed. I'm good at being disappointed. I have a PhD in disappointment.
All right.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. And it feels depressingly accurate.
Right.
But how do we break the cycle? Because if the ego is just trying to protect us, fighting it seems like the wrong move.
It is the wrong move.
If I fight a guardian, the guardian just fights back harder.
You can't fight it. Fighting just creates more resistance. The tool here is mindfulness, or sati. But I want to be clear, this isn't the pop culture version of mindfulness where you just clear your mind and everything is blissful.
Right, it's not just sitting on a cushion and zoning out while holding a crystal.
No. Sati is active, compassionate witnessing. It's standing at the threshold of that fear, and instead of slamming the door or running away, asking a question.
And what is the question?
You ask, what story is this fear protecting?
What story is this fear protecting?
When you feel that panic rise, when your chest tightens in the meadow, pause and ask that. Maybe the story is, I must earn love through struggle, or if I succeed, people will expect more than I can give.
Or, my worth is tied to my suffering. These are contracts we signed with ourselves a long time ago.
Exactly.
And success is asking us to tear up the contract. That's scary, though. Tearing up the contract feels like I'm leaving myself defenseless.
It is terrifying. But there's a beautiful metaphor in Japanese culture that offers a way to handle this rupture. You might know it, kintsugi.
The art of repairing pottery, where they use gold.
Exactly, with gold lacquer. When a bowl breaks, they don't throw it away or try to hide the cracks, they highlight them with gold.
The breakage becomes part of the beauty.
So in this context, our fear, our cracks aren't defects.
No. The fear is where the light gets in, or in this case, where your radiance pours through. We shouldn't try to seal up the fear. We should honor it.
That sounds beautiful, but in the moment of panic, it's hard to remember poetry. Is there something physical, something tangible we can do?
There is, and it's deceptively simple. When the overwhelm hits, you place a hand on your heart, physically touch your chest,
Okay.
and you say, I see you, fear. You're trying to protect me. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I am safe now. I can hold this.
I can hold this.
You-
That phrase sticks out to me because I think part of the fear is that we can't hold it, that we'll be crushed by the weight of the success, or worse, that we'll be corrupted by it.
Corrupted how?
Well, this is something I struggle with deeply, and I know I'm not alone. The fear of arrogance, the fear of becoming too much. There's this voice that says, who do you think you are?
The tall poppy syndrome.
Exactly. I worry that if I really step into my power, if I really shine, I'll become someone I don't like, or someone others don't like.
I don't want to be the villain in someone else's story.
That voice is memory. It's the echo of every time you were told your joy was inconvenient or your ambition made someone else uncomfortable. But the Buddhist perspective offers the mud and lotus analogy here.
Okay.
The lotus grows out of the mud. It uses the mud for nourishment. But, and this is key, it is not stained by the mud.
So the mud is the fear, or the ego.
The mud is all of it. The fear, the longing, the messy human stuff, the doubt. You don't have to get rid of it to bloom, but you also don't have to let it define you.
You can be successful and grounded.
You can be powerful and kind. It's not an either.
That leads me to another concept I wanted to touch on, the idea of the Bodhisattva path. I've heard the term, but in this context, how does it help with the fear?
This is the ultimate reframe. In the Mahayana tradition, the Bodhisattva is someone who seeks enlightenment not to escape the world, but to engage with it, to be of service.
Service over self.
Right. So if you shift your view of success from look at me to how can I serve, the fear often dissipates because your success isn't just for you anymore. It's a lantern in the dark.
When you shine, you liberate others to shine too.
Yes. That makes the stakes feel different, doesn't it? It's not about my ego getting a boost, it's about my ability to help.
It is. If you dim your light to make others comfortable, you aren't serving them. You're just sitting in the dark with them.
You're just sitting in the dark with them. Wow, that hits. It makes playing small feel almost selfish.
It can be. It's withholding your gift. And there's a teaching called Rigpa in the Dzogchen tradition, pure awareness. It suggests that this fear we feel is just a veil. It's not a solid wall. We treat it like a brick wall, but it's actually just smoke.
We just have to walk through it. But walking through smoke is still scary if you can't see the other side.
True. But you don't need to see the whole path. You just need to know what to leave behind. There's a parable about a raft that I think is perfect for this transition.
Oh, please share. I love a good parable.
So imagine you need to cross a raging river. You build a raft. That raft is essential. It saves your life. You paddle across, battling the currents, shivering in the cold.
The raft is the ego.
The raft is the ego, the coaching mechanisms, the old identity. Maybe it's your perfectionism or your tendency to over-prepare. It got you through the hard times.
Right.
But then you reach the other shore. You step onto dry land. Now here is the question. What do you do with the raft?
Well, logically, you leave it there. You don't need it on land.
Right, you don't pick it up and carry it on your back for the rest of your journey across the land.
Yeah.
That would be absurd. It would weigh you down. You wouldn't be able to move.
But that's exactly what we try to do. We try to carry our struggling self, our raft, into our successful life.
Exactly. And it's exhausting. We are walking through the meadow carrying a soggy, heavy wooden raft on our backs. The teaching is, thank the raft. It served you well. Honor it.
And then put it down.
And walk on. Put it down. That sounds so simple, yet it feels like the hardest thing to do.
It requires trust. Trust that you can walk on the land without the tool that got you across the water. Trust that you are enough without the struggle.
You know, as we're talking, I'm realizing something. The ideas we've covered, they lead to a really radical conclusion. And honestly, I think it's the scariest part of all.
I think I know what you're referring to.
The idea that we aren't actually afraid of being unready. We are afraid of how much we love the life that is waiting.
Yes. It cuts right to the core. We think we are scared of failure or responsibility, but often we are scared of the intensity of our own desire. We are scared of our own aliveness.
Scared of our own aliveness. Because if we admit how much we want it,
then we have to feel the magnitude of that love. And we have to feel the vulnerability of having something so precious. It's much safer to stay numb or cynical.
to be fully alive is to be fully open to loss, to change, to joy that is so big it almost hurts.
It's the feeling of the sunlit meadow again. It's so bright it burns a little.
It does. But that burning is the feeling of waking up. The question we have to ask ourselves is, what are you afraid would happen if you believed you belonged here?
If I really believed I belonged in the meadow, I suppose I'd have to stop fighting.
And there it is. Who will you be when there is no one left to fight?
That's the question, isn't it? If I'm not fighting, who am I?
That is the next unfolding. When the old self falls away, when the raft is left on the shore, you are just there, naked in the light. And that is where the real life begins.
It brings us back to the start. The door is unlocked.
It always has been.
And you are already home.
I think that's what I needed to hear today. That the stomach knots, the racing heart, they aren't telling me to stop. They're telling me I'm close.
They are an invitation to deepen, to widen the container of who you are.
To everyone listening, if you are standing on that threshold right now, if you can see the light through the trees but your feet are frozen, just remember the river. You don't have to smash the boulder, you just have to flow around it.
And remember the raft?
You don't have to carry it anymore. And be kind to the fear. It's just trying to protect you.
Say thank you and step through.
Step through. Because the only thing waiting on the other side is you.
The real you.
Thanks for this deep dive today.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you in the meadow.